You're still with us, and we are delighted that you've stayed a little longer with us to participate as we look to wrap up what has turned out to be a very successful conference, as well as convergence of stakeholders, peers, leaders, and of course contributors to the changing landscape regarding corporate giving in South Africa. You're here for the 13th Trilogue Business in Society Summit, and of course this is where we want to share our final thoughts and feedback with you in terms of some of the insights and conversations that have been held over the last 2 days. It's been a phenomenal participation in terms of the chat service that we've participated in, engaging with you, the feedback from you as delegates in terms of ongoing critical questions and themes that do need to be explored. And do understand and do believe that these are conversations that will continue. Maybe next time around boardroom tables or opposite coffee tables, or even virtually so. Most importantly, in order to solicit some positive outcomes as to how best we implement and roll things out on the ground. But before we conclude with today's conference, one thing is for sure, we have been giving and giving and giving, true to the nature of what corporate social responsibility is, but not just giving for giving's sake, but really understanding that the giving and impact that you're looking to have is one that will derive a positive change in the lives of the recipient that you are offering assistance to. Now, speaking to many of you earlier on, you know that we've been using our platform to network, to engage, and even at times to pick your brain on just how much attention you've been paying to some of our earlier sessions, but all with a reward in the end, of course. So you might recall around lunchtime, I had asked you a pop quiz in terms of questions that were related to our earlier session. And we let you linger a little bit longer in terms of understanding who the winners are. But we're happy to announce some of the winners who responded to the earlier pop quiz that we had. All you had to do was to pop in your questions, or rather responses to those questions, in our chat service, and we provide you with phenomenal prizes for the spot competition. A reminder of the questions that we had for the morning session. The first question was related to what are at least 2 of the active steps that those working in the development sector can take to reduce harm or decolonize the approach to working in development. That was following our presentation from Stephanie this morning. The correct answer was a number of things: define and dismantle the white glaze, foster transparent relationships, and elevate local enterprise together with the development of trust. Our winner there was Teresa Whitfield from Hilton College. Teresa Whitfield from Hilton College, you're the winner of that particular prize in question. Our second question was which company and project won the 2019 Trilogue Strategic CSI Award? Correctly so, you would have heard that it was ProMats, which is being rolled out and supported by Investec. Tertia de Bruin from the University of the Free State, you are the winner of that particular question. And we asked you to name 2 of the sectors that Martin Kingston mentioned in the focus in the reindustrialization policy. You had quite a few options there, ranging from mining, manufacturing, agriculture, the digital economy, and the green economy. And the winner for that particular prize there was Wendy van Roy from Communicare NPC. So congratulations to all 3 of you. Teresa Whitfield from Hilton College, Tertia de Bruin from the University of the Free State, and Wendy van Roy from Communicare NPC. All of you are winners, and the team here at Trilogue will be reaching out to you. But we haven't just left it for the lunchtime winners. We also have 2 quick questions that we want to share with you following this afternoon session, where we spoke about woundedness within our communities, and of course followed that up with the non-profit awards for the MTN Award for Social Change that was launched. So 2 questions here, and we're happy to hear your feedback. A reminder of the prize is a NPO listing on the Trilogue Business in Society Handbook and the Trilogue Knowledge Hub worth 3,500 Rand. 2 questions, fastest fingers first, so get typing within the chat service. And the first question is, what are the types of leaders that Nomfundo spoke about? What are the types of leaders that Nomfundo spoke about? And the second question is, which nonprofit won the MTN Award for Social Change in the small organization category? Which nonprofit won the MTN Award for the Social Change in the small organization category? So this is your last shot to win a prize, but of course you can also continue entering by completing the feedback form, which will earn you a lot more points, particularly for our quiz, as the leaderboard is shaking up quite significantly. So do get competing just before we wrap up today's program. But speaking of today's program and of course the insights we've heard from the conference, it's been awarding and perhaps refueling in terms of understanding some of the key concepts that we need to bear in mind as we move forward in our efforts to really derive a positive change within the societies and sectors within which we work. To give us an overview and closing and perhaps share some gratitude on behalf of Trilog with you all for participating in conversation with us, allow me to warmly welcome our guest who joins us virtually, the Managing Director of Trilog, Nick Rocky, who joins us via Zoom. Nick, a very good afternoon to you and great to have you with us. Looking forward to your closing remarks. The floor is yours. Nick, I'm hoping that you can hear us clearly. Maybe this is the world of the digital age that we're living in, not only being on mute, but maybe not hearing me clearly. Nick Rocky, the Managing Director of Trilog. Nick, we've got you on the line and happy to have you join us as you share some of the thank you notes as well as reminders and key insights from today's conference with us.
Thank you very much. So it's my privilege to close what I believe has been an extraordinary event. We were set up for a Can you hear me now? Okay, so extraordinary firstly that it was for us, and I think I'm sure for others too, a virtual event. Trilog was set up to host a physical event earlier in the year, and we realized we had to postpone. So our team had to completely re-engineer the conference onto this virtual platform. And I think we've done so ensuring that all the ingredients of a successful conference remained intact and in place. We had a fantastic array of speakers, for me imparting absolute gems of knowledge. Sorry, I'm getting playback here. I'm just trying to. We had networking functionality that stayed with us. Networking functionality allowed you to drop in on any conversation or meeting with people. We had sponsors that stayed with us and backed Trilog hosting this event. And my sincere appreciation and thanks for them in doing so. Then we had essentially our delegates from across the country and Africa who participated actively in this event. So I would like to acknowledge my Trilog team for making this happen, noting that this was done without the support and leadership of Zayon, who was on maternity leave. So to Kathy, Gillian, Kumo, Ruan, Fiona, Nao, Mashlo, well done. Thank you for putting on a fantastic event. We asked at the front end of this conference as to what the main reasons for attending the conference were. Understanding innovations in CSI came through overwhelmingly in the highest response. And this resonates with me. I believe such an event such as this is first and foremost about knowledge, coupled with how this knowledge translates into shifts in behavior. So I encourage you all to reflect on what you've taken out of this event, go back to the conference recordings, the summaries, and apply what you've learned. Coupled with knowledge is the ability to work together and affect change. Some of you will have established relationships through this networking function, but I should also note that there's an opportunity to get in touch with speakers or delegates, to get hold of them, share perspectives, see if you can work together. I think that's one of the strengths and abilities that come out of a conference like this. I mentioned the wisdom of our speakers and their wealth of knowledge. For me, there were multiple new and different insights gained, as well as new perspectives on familiar topics. Some of my takeouts, just to mention a few, I love the concept of Ubuntu and how this applies to companies and aligns with principles of purpose, of a purpose-led business and shared value. I was encouraged at how we are acknowledging constraints, in particular those brought about by COVID, but are not being bound by them, and how many are choosing instead to pursue opportunities and reimagine and reshape the activities to drive a better future. I understood better the complexity of dealing with trauma and woundedness in society, and how this is often underappreciated, and the need to factor this into our development programs, into our development efforts. I was impressed with solutions for SMME and entrepreneurship and skills development, and the success and wealth of successes and wealth of knowledge emerging from the likes of the Jobs Fund and the YES program. And I continue to grapple with this question of how technology serves as a leveler as opposed to a reinforcer of the social divide. And I think of the potential that technology will afford if we are able to obtain more universal access. I'm not here to summarize a conference, but I do hope that you have your own takeouts, and that these takeouts will stay with you and endure long after this event has closed. Finally, if I can look forward to next year's event, there remains much uncertainty around the timing and safety of hosting a physical event. Certainly, we would like to do this and we will strive to make it happen. We'll also look to seeing how we can bring it back forward in the year, having lost half a year this time around. So there's a lot to be decided and a lot of work to be done. In doing so, our team will be going back to the drawing board. We're going to reflect on the learnings of this event. We're going to look at your feedback. And if we are able to host a physical event, what we will look to do is see how we can draw on some of the advantages of this virtual platform, how we deal with some of the challenges. As you've noticed, we have had slight bumps in the process, and I think that's inevitable in moving on to a virtual platform. But I think that by and large, we've managed well, and I think it brings many advantages that we can tap into going forward in the future. So I'd like to thank you for your role in making this conference special, particularly to you, Gugu, for your role in facilitating this process. I think you've done a superb job. You've been absolutely insightful in pulling out the takeouts from speakers and asking pertinent questions and to keeping the whole conference running very smoothly. So thank you for your role. From me, thanks to everyone who's been a part of this conference. I think back to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that feedback, Nick. Much, much appreciated. And as you say, lots of learnings that we certainly do take out of today's conversation and overall two-day conference that we do look to implement in the months to come. With that said, we have come to the end of what has been the 13th annual Trilog Business in Society Conference for 2020, and what a wonderful experience it's been. I think if there's anything we can agree upon is that this mixed virtual environment has certainly changed things, but we've had the ability to openly engage, host conversations, and most importantly, deliberately bring to the table potential sources of solutions that do need to be discussed even further. We thank you for your cooperation and participation in pivoting with us, especially during this very challenging time, but most of all, continuing to evolve and grow with us, as each of us need to perhaps remain even more committed now more than ever to really be the change agents of society that we are. Through NPOs, through corporate sponsors, through consultancies and many other contributors within their individual capacity or even with the organizations that they may be affiliated to, each of us does need to continue playing a role in deriving a positive impact on society through the role and use of CSI. It's been a pleasure being with each and every one of you, but of course, you might recall that we've kept the interaction and conversation going through our polls, through the questions that we've been asking you, as well as the many quizzes, and the respective prize winners will be announced within due time in terms of who might have won the big prize for the overall quiz, and of course, understanding who might have won for the pop quiz in terms of responses that we've seen and witnessed on the app and on our platform. A big reminder that we do want to strongly encourage you to complete the feedback form. This will really enable us to ensure that we're able to implement the correct strategies and solutions that we need to bring to the table going forward. As we continue to solicit your feedback, we will also endeavor to engage with you as you share your comments, as well as sharing your feedback by coming back to the platform to visit some of the conversations that we've had previously. And of course, we're getting ready to announce the winners. And as you can imagine, it's a moving ship with many individuals who make this work possible. And I'm about to hear the names of the two winners, I understand, for the pop quiz first, if I'm not mistaken. We've got some amazing news and results in terms of the winners, and looking at the leaderboard that's currently on screen. I do understand that many of you have participated not only in responding to questions, but of course also responding to the feedback form as well as the pop quiz. So we've got the big announcement of the individuals who will not only win a double-page spread within the Trialogue Annual Handbook for the year 2021, but will also receive a phenomenal technology prize in the form of a tablet. Trick is, there are two winners. 2020 has been an interesting year, not only pivoting in terms of how we're hosting this conference, but also two winners. I'm not too sure if that's the first time it's happened for Trialogue. Perhaps we'll get confirmation. But looking at our leaderboard, we see that on the leaderboard, in third place, is Bridget Harris, and she comes in at 207 points. The leaderboard will come up on screen. And if you look at number 1 and number 2, Tessa Whitfield, Declan Williams, both tied at 221 points. Tough one, but congratulations to you both. I understand that you will be sharing the main prize, and of course we'll be taking that going forward with the Trialogue organizers of this conference, who will share how exactly that particular prize will be split. To those of you that also participated in the pop quiz, not to fear, we will reach out to you in terms of the prize that you win, being a feature or listing, NPO listing in the Trialogue Handbook for the year 2021 as well. That's worth 3,500 Rand. So we'll get those details to you, but a big congratulations as well to our overall quiz winners for the conference, Declan Williams and Tessa Whitfield, 221 points, clearly leading the path in terms of the number of points that we could have received. With that said, we look forward to seeing you again next year. Hopefully we'll be interacting more in person, but of course we've come to embrace what has been dubbed as our new normal, and we'll continue to solicit your engagement, solicit your feedback, and most importantly partner with you on this journey of ensuring that the corporate giving environment in South Africa is one that is truly led from the heart and through collaborative efforts. I understand that is a wrap from myself and the team. It's been a great pleasure being with you here at the Business and Society Conference for 2020, hosted by Trialogue. We look forward to hosting you for future events again. But before we go, last two winners that we want to announce for the pop quiz, the questions that we asked regarding Nomfundo's presentation on wounded economies and wounded corporates and wounded people and how best we need to address it. The winner there is Lindsay Sherman from Investec, and another winner from Investec who shared with us responses to the second question that we had asked. That's Sanisha Naidu. So Lindsay Sherman and Sanisha Naidu, both from Investec, both of you have won phenomenal prizes. I understand that's all the winners we have to announce for today. If not, I'll be getting another update and I'll share that with you shortly. But that's the beauty about working and living in a virtual world where information is at our fingertips and we're able to access it and share it. Again, we thank you. We acknowledge you and we appreciate your participation. We trust that we wish you nothing but success for the year ahead. Until our next Trialogue conference in 2021, take care and keep safe.